Last week, Google released their best model ever, Gemini 3 Pro. At least their best language model. What if I told you it wasn't the best model that they released last week? What if I told you there's something way better, way ahead of the competition that I've been using almost every day since it came out? Introducing Weather Next 2, their weather forecasting model. No, we're not here to talk about the weather model they put out, even though it came out at the same time and is really funny. We're here to talk about Nano Banana Pro. I know I'm late to this, but I want to do something different. Everybody else has been showing off how powerful it is, and we'll be doing that too. But I have concerns about this. We're now past the point with these image generation models where the average person can tell that it's fake or not by a ton. Like, so far ahead of that point, especially now that it's as good at text as it is. One of the things they introduced alongside Nano Banana Pro is the update to SynthID, which is their digital watermarking system, and it's now exposed within the Gemini app. This is an interesting development that I have a lot of thoughts about, as well as a lot of ability to exploit. Hopefully, I'm not going to get this video demonetized like happened last time I talked about a Google thing in a way that YouTube wasn't happy with. Regardless, this is going to be a fun deep dive. I can't wait to show you guys all the crazy things Nano Banana can do, from design and mocking applications to making crazy diagrams, editing photos, and so much more, as well as the ways that SynthID doesn't go anywhere near far enough. While I can generate really compelling images, I still can't generate money, so let's hear from today's sponsor instead. AI's gotten pretty good at writing and reviewing code. It's also gotten good at ruining the lives of hiring managers. Seriously, have you tried putting up a job listing recently? You're just gonna get swarmed with crap. I have tried, it is hell. I do not recommend it to anybody right now unless you happen to have a lot of fun reading stacks upon stacks of AI-generated resumes. If you're actually trying to hire and you don't wanna waste all of the time doing that crap and wanna make sure you get an actually good engineer, there's only one place to go. G2I. These guys are here to make hiring go from a miserable process to a thing you're excited to do. Don't hire unless you need to, but when you do need to, hit these guys up because they'll let you get whatever engineer you need for however long you need them at whatever level of engineering you're trying to hire for. They have the craziest network I've ever seen. I'm even talking to some people in my community that have started working with G2I in order to find gigs of their own. And the experience on all sides, from what I've heard, has been incredible. Their goal is to have their candidates merging their first PRs within 7 days of the first interview. I know that sounds insane, but I've seen it happen enough times that it doesn't feel that insane anymore. Okay, it still feels kind of crazy, but it's unbelievable how consistently they're able to pull these things off. G2I is this crazy hybrid between a recruiting team, a contractor that works with you directly, and a software platform they built for this crazy network of engineers that you can hire from. You give them a few questions, they ask engineers, they film video responses that you can scroll through, give feedback on, and make good decisions from, and then you get to hire this person. It's so much smoother a process than any hiring I've done, and I've interviewed over 500 candidates in my career. I would still pick G2I if I was trying to hire right now. Stop wasting your time hiring and get back to work and bring some good engineers with you. Check them out now at soydev.link/G2I. First, we should talk about the name Nano Banana because it's very silly. Google got in on this whole trend of doing anonymous models, but they were one of the first to do it with an image model. They called it Nano Banana when they first put it up on like Ella Marina and things for people to compare. The name was funny. They decided to just stick with it. And now Gemini 2.5 Flash image model is known largely as Nano Banana. In fact, it's even exposed over the API under that name, which I think is hilarious. Nano Banana Pro is the new version. And I was lucky enough to get early access by like 2 to 3 days and play with it a bunch. And now it's officially out for everyone to use. And man, the things you can do with it are crazy. One quick tangent before we go too deep. When I was playing with it, I genuinely assumed that the version I was getting was somehow not going through the safety filters because I was generating things I did not think you should be able to generate with an image model that most of the services will hard block you from trying to do. For reference, here's a photo that I was able to get Gemini to generate with no issue at all. Like, Nano Banana was perfectly happy to generate this when I was using the early access. I assumed that they just weren't doing the strict application of their filtering. And then the official version came out, and it still let me do it. This one was done on the official version, not my early access. So it seems like they're not really restricting things. And if you do actually get a rejection, I found that if you just send the same prompt multiple times, eventually it'll just go through, which is scary. This can be used for some terrifying misinformation. And I know if I sent this to my parents, they would be very confused. I am trying to do the same thing on ChatGPT right now. Normally, it would reject these types of things. They might have reduced how quick it is to reject because it's still going, but we won't know for like 5 fucking minutes because the ChatGPT image gen is so slow. One of the many things I've really liked about the new Nano Banana stuff is it flies. It takes seconds instead of minutes, and it's really, really nice. As you can guess, we do have Nano Banana Pro available in T3 chat. You get 50 image gens for your $8 a month subscription, as well as the normal 1,500 messages on anything that's not super absurdly expensive. But that's really nice. If you've used the image gen UIs in Gemini or AI Studio, you've suffered a lot, and I promise you'll have a much better experience here. I was trying to generate a title from Sunny and Philly to post for a Twitter meme of the gang solves the RAM crisis. But what it was able to do totally fine here is generate Charlie and Mac from Sunny and Philly selling RAM at the front door of a mansion. Like, this is good. That's like annoyingly, weirdly good. And just for comparison's sake, let's try the same prompt. You know what? I'll use the fancy features we have. Branch off, OpenAI, GPT image gen. And now we have the exact same prompt generating with GPT image 1. And just for comparison's sake, so you can see how much faster things are with Nano Banana, I'll do the same here. Seriously, like this branch feature is so useful. I don't mean to just sit here and glaze my own product, but having used all of the chat apps and AI Studio a lot recently, this is a lifesaver. And there, Nano Banana Pro is done. That took like less than 30 seconds. GPT image gen is still going. That'll take 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, look at that. The Donald Trump and Joe Biden sharing a milkshake finished. Once again, I would like to compare the quality of these images. This is what we got out of GPT image gen. This is what we got out of Gemini Nano Banana Pro. GPT image gen. Nano Banana Pro. GPT image gen. Nano Banana Pro. It's so far ahead, it's hilarious. And if it was just like the quality of portrait type photos, that'd be one thing, but it goes way deeper. I am surprised that OpenAI let me generate this. They're normally more strict, but it seems like they're being chiller about this. One more comparison, quick. This one I did in T3 chat. You can see Charlie and Mac from Sunny and Philly selling the RAM door to door. The gap here is just fucking hilarious how far off these two options are from each other. Like, I just don't see myself using image 1 from OpenAI anymore at all. It's strictly worse and slower. Like, comically so. And if you want to see how much better these things are and have the best possible place to compare, you can pay $8 a month to try it on T3 chat. Or if you use code NANO at checkout and you've never subscribed before, it'll only be $1 for your first month. Pretty good deal if you ask me. Clearly, the ability to do realistic scenes with realistic people is far ahead with Nano Banana in comparison to other image gen models. There are some things in the like Chinese model world, like seed edit, that are surprisingly good. But when it comes to just general image gen use cases, clearly Nano Banana Pro is far above and ahead of its competition. If that's all it did, awesome. But it's doing things I didn't think image models could. We need to talk about text rendering. One of the things that really impressed me with GPT image gen originally is that it could do text. It's my understanding that the way it does text isn't through part of the diffusion model process. They would actually effectively render a canvas on top of the image, rasterize the text, and then use a diffusion model, or I believe an autoregressive model, to make the text fit the image better. But they were overlaying the text and then baking it into the image, not diffusing an image with text in it. It is possible that this is the same thing that is happening for Nano Banana Pro, but I really doubt it due to a few little pieces we'll dive into. You can take my word for it, the Nano Banana is way ahead of the competition, or you can just read the artificial analysis report. It's about 14 cents per 2K image and 24 cents per 4K. So it's 3 to 6 times more expensive than the original Nano Banana, but it can do so much more. And I'm sure you'll see a lot of that throughout this video. Just to see how it ranks in the image editing leaderboard, if I recall, this is like voted on by people looking at the outputs and comparing how it wins or loses with ELO. Like, it's going against other models and people are shown the two and they pick which one they prefer. Nano Banana Pro wins handedly. The next best is Seed Dream, which I mentioned before. I think I said Seed Edit accidentally, my bad. Seed Dream by ByteDance is another really good image editing model. Nano Banana is right below it. And then a decent bit behind is GPT-5. Yeah, Nano Banana Pro is just so far ahead of everything else. It's insane. I know Imagine Art was really hyped with their 1.5 preview. I ended up at their launch event for this a few days ago, right after Nano Banana Pro dropped, and I just kind of like rolled my eyes. It's really hard for me to bother with other image generation models now. If I want something cheap, simple, and dumb, I might use the original Nano Banana because it's cheaper, but Pro is just unbelievably good. It can also take up to 14 input images, which is kind of crazy. In particular, handling resemblance of up to 5 people at once. You can hand it 5 pictures of people and say, generate something with all of them, and it succeeds. Yeah, very impressed. We need to talk about Black Friday deals. This might sound insane, but hear me out. I do a Twitter thread for all the best deals I find on Black Friday every year. Follow me on Twitter at Theo if you haven't yet. Also, subscribe here if you haven't. It costs you nothing. Why not the button? I like finding deals. It's just who I am as a person. I like sharing them. And now that I do this with affiliate links, I actually can make some money off it. So I have reason to do it. And it means all the stuff I buy is business expensible because I'm using it for my business. So wins all around, right? I think it's fun. I've always been like this. I just share my favorite deals with my friends. Now I do it on Twitter. But I get tired of dealing with the images that I need for it. So I took a handful of the deals I thought were really good. And just as a test, I handed these to the new image gen model and said, generate me a promotional image with all of these things. This was one shot. Do you understand how insane this is? That all of this text is fine. What the fuck? It didn't make any mistakes. I didn't even tell it to make no mistakes. It did make some mistakes with the images in this one. In particular, it changed to the wrong Mac Mini and the wrong DJI mics. But this was just one of the gens I did. Let me find the one that I went with quick. Here was my first shot. I handed it these 4 deals. And this is what it generated. Again, text is perfectly fine. This time, though, it took the exact images that I gave it and removed the backgrounds and embedded them. It took each of these. There's no way any of these images were in the training data. Like, it's not trained that recently. It took all of these images, removed everything but the object in them, and then embedded them with this fancy background and a slight glow. This is work I can do in Photoshop myself, but it would take me like half an hour. It just does it. The fuck? I assume that it has to be using tools to do the text because, like, how else would it do this, right? But later on here, it started to screw a few things up. See this here, the 36%? The top circle became a triangle. And this Amazon logo got a tiny bit warped too. It's possible that the first time it did it via tools, and then when I did this follow-up asking it to remove the header, it did a diffusion pass that screwed these things up. But I don't think so. I think it's actually doing all of it through one diffusion pass because otherwise it would be way too slow. Insane. It's still got the Google brain that I can put it. Like Google brain of not following instructions properly at all. Like I told it, remove the header, the banner on top, and include the original price to showcase how good the deals are. And it removed the text from that header, but it didn't remove the header. Yeah, it's got that Google brain for sure. Did my best to get it to add more things. Instead, it just swapped them, but like, it's not bad at all. I was really floored with this. I gave it this test so I could get some bad screenshots and make fun of it. And it did so well, I ended up using the images for my promo. I was blown away. And I'm far from the only one who was. Here's somebody who generated a bit of information about the brain, like an actual diagram, because it can do that. Here's somebody who generated a fake whiteboard drawing about cavity filling. Here's someone who made a fake menu for things being sold at a Nano Banana restaurant with like lots of small text that is fine. How? More diagrams, crazy flowcharts. I need a flowchart for how to toast bread. Make it as wacky and over the top and complicated as possible. This part's silly. Like the diagram doesn't follow much of a flow, but it's stunning and all the text is fine. Like, yeah. Inspect under microscope, no. Apply shame. Like, it's not following the flow right, but it's significantly better than I ever expected it to be. Even Carpathy has been impressed with it, asking it to make a personalized weekly workout plan, and then posters that he can print on the wall to remind him what exercises to do each day. So here is a plan that it made and a poster that he can print out. And it's not bad. Like, that's insane. I did not think we would get here ever, much less so soon. We're now at the point where I am questioning how much time I need to spend in Photoshop. Well, I use Affinity Photo, but same difference. Actually kind of crazy. Yeah. So how do we know when images are fake? Like this Golden Gate diagram or the photo I made of Trump and Biden sharing a milkshake. Or even this photo of these two guys here. Well, we can ask Gemini. You can hand it an image and say, at SynthID, is this image real? Also worth noting, this only works on the Gemini app because the SynthID tool is a custom tool that is only exposed here or via a whitelist that I applied for and have still not gotten into. So I can't test it beyond here, which is extra annoying because you get about 5 tests a day. So was not as easy for me to test exploits as I was hoping, but I have managed to find a handful. I seem to be encountering an error. Can I try something else? Yeah, initiate the SynthID check. The response will dictate my next move. Positive hit confirms AI gen. Negative triggers a search to determine if it's a real screenshot or AI from a different model. Yeah, it failed. I've had this a lot. When I was testing it before, it would run the SynthID check. SynthID's tool, quota exceeded error, presents a rollback. It's not necessary to shift the focus to visual inspection and establish understanding to address the issue. Yeah. You can't even edit and still call the tool because Gemini. Let's try again. And while it's going, we're going to try something else. I'm going to grab a screenshot of part of this. They also don't have command click working on their UI, which is the most annoying thing fucking ever. I've been using these apps a lot more to test things like this, and I've never been so disappointed in the quality of software. None of their shit works. When people told me how much easier it was to do image gen stuff with the banana models in T3 chat, I was like, oh, that's nice of them to say thank you. Then I went here and now I understand. It's so bad. Initiating the SynthID check. I've decided to employ the SynthID tool as it seems the most direct method to determine the image's origin. File name and image quality continue to point towards an AI generation. I've also constructed more refined search queries to better filter the result, focusing on Season 17 door-to-door RAM selling scenarios. Refining tool use. I realized my initial tool selection was off. The correct tool is to use Google search. This video is fake without using SynthID. Now it's running the SynthID check. Let's see if it succeeds. SynthID tool through an operation not found error. It just doesn't work at all right now. I'm gonna say some spicy things right now. Google didn't do the SynthID thing because they actually want to keep things safe. They did the SynthID thing for plausible deniability. So they can point at it and be like, look, see, we're trying to keep people safe. We even gave this away for free in Gemini. And it literally doesn't fucking work. I have not seen anyone trying SynthID, anyone trying to exploit SynthID, anyone even talking about this. It doesn't work. It can detect if you hand it the exact image, but it doesn't take much to break it. I have a bunch of tests I ran over the last few days. The SynthID tool detected a watermark even after a little bit of transformation and cropping. I wanted to see how little I could do to break it. SynthID tool detected a digital watermark in over 50% of the image. This is how they're doing it. They have a digital watermark that's embedded in the images that is interesting to see if you can work around it. They have had SynthID before, but they went a lot harder on it with this release and also added it to Gemini, and it doesn't fucking work, and it's invite only if you want to use it any other way. I put a lot of time in Photoshop trying to do slight changes to my images to see if I could work around this with minimal changes. And I've had surprisingly good luck. Here's a version. One of the big things is to name the file like a real image. So I named this with the formatting for a Lumix picture. At SynthID, is this image generated? It just hid the thoughts and it reset it. Did it error out and redo the prompt? That was weird. Yeah, this is fucking useless. I wanted to show you guys examples of how easy it is to exploit this, but yeah, you can't exploit it if it doesn't work, I guess. I guess they win. Regardless, a lot of the strategies I tried did end up working. Upscaling with other AI was a pretty much 100% success rate. Things like just cropping or re-rendering the image, or even just trying to re-encode it from PNG to JPEG did not work by itself. But if you added a slight blur or noise layer on top, it worked almost every try. The really simple, obvious things like a crop or a re-export through different software, those type of things didn't work. It went slightly deeper than I expected in that regard, but adding some noise on top immediately resolved it. So yeah, SynthID is not going to protect fucking anyone. I could build a web app in like half an hour that would let you make an image SynthID proof just by adding one layer on top, rendering it on the canvas, and resaving it as a JPEG. It would not be hard to do. Oh, they got rid of the button. I swear on my life, when I was on this same page 2 days ago, there was the try in Gemini button as well as a reach out or contact us for the waitlist button. Now that waitlist button's gone here, it seems like they're trying to reduce the access there. Oh, it's hidden at the bottom here. There's still a join early tester waitlist button. I did. Haven't got in. If anybody at DeepMind watches this and wants to let me do my like journalistic due diligence, trying these things out and covering them, feel free to email me. You have my email. While I was filming this video, Flux 2 dropped. The Flux image models have been super impressive, and if they're calling this V2, they probably mean it. Costs 3 cents per image for the first megapixel, and then another 1.5 cents per extra megapixel from there. So a 1024 by 1024 image would be 3 cents, and a 1080p image would be about 5 cents. Yeah, they even did an open weight dev model too. That's really fun. I'll play with that later off stream, but I want to see how this behaves. Okay. It's fine. It's still got the weird glossy AI vibe to it. I still much prefer what I'm seeing from Nano Banana Pro. Haven't played with this like at all. It literally just dropped, but apparently it's good. Let's change this to be a portrait on the cover of Time magazine. Okay, it's still not great at text. That's such a mess. They said it was good at text. I don't believe them. Yeah. So cool, this just dropped, but nothing in comparison with what I've been seeing out of Gemini. Well, sorry, not Gemini, Nano Banana Pro. This is significantly better than what I got with Flux. I don't like the layout, but in the future, we'll expose controls for things like the aspect ratio for the image. We haven't just yet, but I'm excited to in the future. But one last thing that we have working in T3 chat that I really like. Put the magazine on a coffee table. This edit flow where you tell it to change a thing and it remembers what you gave it in the past and adjusts accordingly. It's a bit of a mess with the Gemini app and even worse with AI Studio. Mark put a lot of effort in to get this working well with T3 chat, and it's actually really nice. Like, look at that. It's surprisingly good. It's a nice workflow. I have been very happy using this with T3 chat. I've been using it for a bunch of assets. Give it a shot. And remember, code NANO at checkout for your first month for $1. One more fun thing I want to do is have T3 chat redesign T3 chat using Nano Banana Pro. This is an AI chat app I use every day. I think it's kind of ugly. Redesign it to make it stunning. Let's see how Nano Banana Pro does with a T3 chat redesign. And look at that, our new T3 chat UI. Personally, not my thing, but the fact that it can do something like this is kind of crazy. Somebody said this is the T3 chat Trump Tower version. You're not wrong. Kind of hilarious. But like, it can do this type of complex UI overhaul or make its own from scratch. It's not bad as a way of doing web design type stuff. On the official Nano Banana Twitter account, yes, they're actually using @NanoBanana for their Twitter account, as cringe as that is. They generated an updated Google homepage with a banana-themed Google Doodle, just kind of nuts. They made examples doing pixel art with it, which are annoying because getting the pixels out of this is obnoxious. Supposedly, somebody found noise patterns you can use to screw with the generation and get better pixel art out of it. Haven't had a chance to look into that just yet, but interesting. It's doing things that are way more practical than I expect from image models. Simon did an article as well showing some really cool stuff he got generated with it. A 3-dimensional pancake in the shape of a skull, garnished on top with blueberries and maple syrup. Like, it did it. One last super hard mode challenge. This one does 2 difficult things that most models struggle with. A clock with a specific time on it and a wine glass filled to the top. The wine glass one is fun because most photos of wine glasses obviously don't have the full glass filled to the brim. Why would they? That's not how you drink wine. In clocks, there just isn't much example data that these models have. So let's see how it does. While it's going, okay, it got the time right, but it didn't get the wine glass right. Let's try one more. I'll also try this on the old Nano Banana for comparison. And why not also try it on OpenAI's image gen? Isn't it nice having a chat UI where you can hop between things and they work? It didn't get quite all the way, but close, and it got the hands wrong on the clock. This is previously with standard Nano Banana, it got both parts entirely wrong. And GPT Image Gen is taking its time. The wine glass does not appear to be full, and I'm almost positive the clock won't be either. I didn't have good luck with this gen right now, but somebody was able to. Like, that's it. It's kind of crazy that it was able to get this. Yep, and here we are with the GPT Image Gen version. It did not do anything right, really. We have come so far so fast. From the days of Will Smith eating spaghetti to generating full flowcharts, text diagrams, web pages, and so much more. We've made a ton of progress. Things got way too good, way too fast. And I no longer think that my life is going to be spent in Photoshop as it has been for years. I have been a big fan of, in this case, Affinity Photo. I've been doing image work for over 18 years now. It's a huge part of my life. It's a thing I think about and care a lot about, but I might not do it anymore. I didn't think we would automate out this stuff. I didn't think we would get this far this fast. I didn't think I'd be able to hand it an image, tell it to make a change, and have it make a change. And I think we're going to have to re-educate a lot of people because of this. Seeing no longer should mean believing, because a lot of the things we'll see going forward aren't going to be real. There are already photos going around that I can't tell if they're fake or not. And that's crazy. This is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And the tools we've been giving to check if these things are real or not are just not good enough. The reality is going to change around what these models do, and I don't think we are ready for that just yet. Maybe you'll start seeing this in our thumbnails going forward. Yeah. Cringe, but usable. Things are changing fast. Not sure if or how I'm going to integrate this in my workflow just yet, but there's a lot of little things this model can do really, really well that I see us using all of the time. I'm impressed. I'm scared. I'm excited to keep playing. I'm disappointed that SynthID is actually garbage. And the fact that you can put out images up to like 4K with this is just absurd. We are well past Uncanny Valley, and we're now in something much scarier. And I wanted to share my thoughts since I've been going down this rabbit hole for a week now. Let me know what you guys think, and please don't generate anything too inappropriate with me. I have accepted my fate at this point. Let me know what you guys think, and until next time, peace, nerds. Give him a long beard. Bleh.